Hello friends, welcome once again. Today in this video we will try to understand the writing style of Francis Bacon. We have discussed his essay of studies in the previous video, and today I will try to explain you some of the most important features of his writing. Francis Bacon is often regarded as the father of English essays, but it is often argued whether his essays correspond to the conventional definition of the term essay. This is because Bacon's essays have a certain distinctive characteristics which make us question the classification of their genre. The most notable feature of Bacon's essay is his aphoristic style. Aphorisms are straightforward statements that state a truth. Bacon, in his essays, writes in an aphoristic style, making general statements. Take, for example, in his essays, which is also in our course, that is of studies, Bacon states that studies have three purposes: to delight, for ornament, and for ability. Again, he says that there are different kinds of books. Some are to be pursued lightly, others to be digested, and so on. Bacon merely states these facts almost as if they are established truth. He does not elaborate them, he does not explain them, he just merely writes as if they are some sort of universal truth. He does not provide his personal opinion or give any example as to which books are to be read lightly or which are to be digested. This aphoristic style in Bacon's writing leaves the reader to his own interpretations. Bacon uses the aphoristic style to enable the reader's active participation, allowing him to interpret and add to the meaning of his statements. This is opposed to the magisterial style, where the entire information is provided, making the reader lazy and passive. Another important feature of Bacon's essay is his impersonality. Bacon's personal choices and opinions are not reflected through his writings. His impersonality is aided by his aphoristic style. By providing the reader with statements of truth, Bacon saves himself from relieving his true personality. He rarely exemplifies his argument, and when he does, the examples are usually drawn from history, such as the example of Julius Caesar and Brutus in his essay of Friendship, which does not require his personal opinion. Bacon's personality is detached from his essays. In one of our class, we have discussed that there are two types of writing. One is objective and the other is subjective. So we can say that the writing of Bacon is objective in nature. His personal emotions, his feelings, his thoughts are not, his personality are not expressed in his essays. He does not reveal himself in his essays. So we can say that his writing is objective. He writes objectively. Bacon's essays also display a few other features. His essays are usually short, sometimes shorter than what the conventional definition of essays suggests. They often lack coherence. This is mainly because most of his essays are not divided into paragraphs, and it is difficult for the reader to grasp a sudden change from one idea to another. His essays are observational rather than reflective. His essay style is very formal. The various features of Bacon's essays therefore make it difficult to place his writing under the genre of essays, but these features also do not suggest otherwise. Thus, Bacon's work are classified as essays. It can be concluded that the essays of Francis Bacon possesses distinctive features which have served to preserve his work through the ages. His essays are studied at present not for their content but also for their style. As an essayist, as a man of letters, Bacon has created his name in prose style. His way of writing shares no doubt a number of qualities with that of Elizabethan and Jacobean writers. He is the man of Renaissance, but it have at the same time some special features of its own. We have already discussed some of his qualities, and there are many more qualities in his writing, with the result that Bacon is the most quotable writer of the one of the most quotable writing writers of the world. His essays are remarkable for their brevity. His sentences are short and rapid, but they are forceful. In other words, as Dean Church observes, they come down like the strokes of a hammer. Bacon evolved a prose style that provided for the first time that English can also be used to express fine thoughts in simple sentences. Bacon, in fact, wrote more than one style and suits his style to his subject. In his first collection of essays, he illustrates the definition of essay as meditative, but in his later essays he acquired blood and flesh. The stylistic changes are to bring the greater clarity. In his earlier essays, his sentences are sketchy and in incomplete manner, but in later essays there is warmth and clarity. Most of his words are read like proverbs, for a lie faces God and shrinks from man, from of truth. It is strange desire to seek power and lose liberty, or to seek power over others and to lose power over a man's self from of great pleasure. Thus there is not even a single essay which does not contain such wisdom of human heart. His sentences are overpacked with meaning, and they are often telegraphic in nature. But the aphoristic statement of his essays depend on such expression such as balance and antithesis, which mark the structure of his sentences. In his essays of studies there is threefold balances. Studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. Some books are tasted, others to be swallowed, and a few are to be chewed and digested. Studies make a man full man, conferences a ready man, and writing an exact man. Thus his style is clearly rhetorical. He has the power to attract its reader even though he cannot convince them. In this sense, one has to study another feature of Bacon's style, his extensive use of images, metaphors, and similes. Bacon draws his imagery even from the human life or from the common facts of nature. He gives striking metaphors and similes to prove his point. As he says in Of Studies, distilled books are like distilled water, fleshy things. His similes are most of the time apt, vivid, and different. Classical mythology, biblical, astronomy, philosophy, natural observation, domestic aspect are presented to communicate with the meaning. Bacon expressed his thoughts in a few words or sentences. His essays are to be read slowly and carefully, not because the words are obscure, but because the thoughts expressed in them is compact and condensed. In his essay of Truth, Bacon brought the idea for man's natural love for lie. The poetic figure of speech is brought out in the statement. Certainly, it is heaven upon earth to have a man's mind move in charity, rest in providence, and turn on the pulse of truth. Bacon's words are without wit and humor in ordinary sense of meaning, but he is capable of creating humor to please his reader. By pains man cometh to greater pain. Through indignities man can rise to through indignities man can rise to dignities of great palaces. Though Bacon's style is heavy in learning, yet it is flexible. Bacon, on the whole, is not difficult at all. Though there are some Latinism words in his essays, but which are difficult to follow, yet they do not lead to obscurity. Bacon's style bears the stamp of Bacon, the man who is not only the widely studied essay, but one who wrote with great care, permitting nothing superfluous in it. What Johnson says of Bacon the speaker is equally true of Bacon the writer. No man ever wrote with care or suffered less emptiness, less idleness, and what he said. He hears what should cuff or took aside from him without loss. So it can be concluded that Bacon's style bears the stamp of its own, though there is some controversy whether he wrote one style or two. Bacon's essays cover a span of 28 years, and within this short period these essays were published. Bacon's style is not a personal or the chaste style of Montaigne or Lamb. His essays are distinctive and aphoristic, full of learned quotations and allusions. But what is important about his style is his brevity. One may put forward the point Bacon was indeed a great artist who expresses his thoughts and feelings in his style. So we can see how he distinguishes from the writing of the other writers of his age and from various other ages. If you have any queries related to the style of Bacon, you can message me or you can write in your comment box. Thank you very much.